There are some great streets in the world, really great streets. Streets that people love to drive and walk along. The Champs-Élysées and the Boulevard Saint-Michel in Paris. And Las Ramblas in Barcelona, to name just a few. And not surprisingly, there's some very lovely streets right here in Santa Monica. And then there's Lincoln. North of Wilshire, the parkways and trees in the residential neighborhoods of Lincoln are green and nicely kempt. But as we travel south past the I-10 freeway, Lincoln is less and less attractive. As we approach the southern city limits, Lincoln becomes an embarrassment. This has given Lincoln a bad name. Stinkin' Lincoln. But that's about to change. Concerned citizens are now working with the Lincoln Boulevard Task Force.
The problem with Lincoln, I think, first of all, is that there are many competing interests. First of all, it's a state highway, and consequently there are constraints that are created by that. It's a major arterial road and a major north-south connector in the city of Santa Monica, a city that has relatively few north-south connectors, so consequently it takes a significant load of traffic of all kinds.
Well, you know, now that Caltrans is relinquishing Lincoln Boulevard to the city, we are anticipating a large-scale streetscape design for Lincoln Boulevard.
I see flowering trees on the street. I see palm trees. I see a big median, and I see planting on the streets like I did for Grand Avenue downtown Los Angeles, where instead of planting a little tiny bit of planting next to a tree, we made big swaths and put 2 or 3 trees in a swath, and with garden all around it and a place to sit.
And we'll find that if we want a boulevard where people are going to be able to stroll and observe, we want to give them something other than just a lot of traffic. And that's what we hope to do. Lincoln needs mature trees on its parkways, and it could use a good landscape median, similar to the one on Wilshire. The Luce says improvements on Lincoln will focus primarily on the public realm, with the installation of a gateway feature at the southern entrance to the city.
I joined the Lincoln Boulevard Task Force because I think it's so important. And it's the first time I've ever gotten involved in Santa Monica politics or the community, but this is so important to me. And I signed up for the streetscape because that's my main concern, is how it looks.
Quite frankly, we've been inspired by what they've done in Mexico City with the greening of the city, and their sculptures and their installations are covered with live growing material, plant life, trees, shrubs, and so forth. It actually increased the livability of the area. It gives the area more oxygen, and it reduces the smog, and that's what we hope to do here too as well. We're trying to create an iconic entry portal for Santa Monica. There'll be an arch over the I-10 and Lincoln Boulevard intersection.
I would love to see more of a variety of businesses on Lincoln Boulevard. I would like to see more businesses like Barrett's.
I'm second generation of the same family ownership of Barrett's Refrigeration and Appliances, Inc. And we've been in Santa Monica since 1946. I see a trend towards building high-rises, bringing in more people, anchoring them maybe with larger businesses rather than smaller businesses, and what a mistake that would be.
Many residents in the area are opposed to lining Lincoln Boulevard with dense housing units, as this would bring more car trips and more traffic congestion.
It's the small business that has supported Santa Monica all these years. Small businesses are the biggest employers cumulatively in the country. So we need incentives to help small businesses remain and grow in their own right and not be displaced by larger stores. And I think that is something that's really not being given good consideration.
The Luce talked about creating neighborhood centers and activity centers where the density might be a little larger, where that it could create more of a pedestrian-oriented environment. And obviously one of the prime locations for doing that is essentially at the intersection of Lincoln and Ocean Park Boulevard.
Some members of the Lincoln Boulevard Task Force have suggested a fine arts activity center to include an atrium, galleries, cafes, and a restaurant.
Currently, Lincoln Boulevard is a major transit corridor, and the state, I do not believe, is going to allow us to prevent it from being that. The question is, how can we mitigate that?
The Pico-Lincoln intersection is another area of interest. The city has plans to make this area into a major transit crossroads.
And that's a very challenged and has some unique characteristics. One, it's very close to the freeway. Two, there's a lot of students there because of the high school in particular.
You take your life when you go across that street because it's 4 lanes. And to have a median, at least if you're slow, you can only make it to the middle section. That's a good idea.
The Lincoln Boulevard Task Force is rethinking Lincoln.
I think having Lincoln come alive, it's a win-win on every level. Santa Monica is very positive for new things now with the new park and the train coming in. We have to look really smart because we are changing and changing for the better. The only thing I can say is we can do it.
We'll all benefit from the transition of Lincoln from a neglected thoroughfare to a great street to walk, shop, drive, and to do business on. The question is, who gets to make these decisions? As a community, we're envisioning Lincoln safe, clean, beautiful, and green.